Quote number one. This is about James Harden believing he's back to MVP form. Quote, I've always said that if my conditioning can be level with my skill set, my IQ, and the work I put in, it's MVP.
Did he really say that?
These are all real quotes.
You didn't start with the fake one.
I am not making up quotes. So I have a couple questions. One, doesn't he make like $42 million a year?
I thought your first question was going to be, has he always said that? I've always said. You've always said? Is that right? Have you? Find me another time that he said that.
Nothing makes me happier and brings me more delight in the end of September, or beginning of October than an NBA superstar making at least $35 million a year, congratulating himself for being in shape in front of a bunch of media writers is my favorite. They literally have one job. Your one job is stay in shape. You have no other jobs.
In James Harden's defense, this is the first team that he's not prepared to quit on in 3 years. So let's think about it glass half full at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah, he's got a little hop in his step. He's not going to quit on them.
He knows where his most comfortable booth at Delilah's. He knows where that is. Like, he's built in everything that will lead to sustained success this season, and he decided to go ahead and cut down on the chicken wings for 2 months. That's great. Congratulations.
Great. No late night munchies for James this year. Well, he's back to MVP form. Congrats, James. Next one. This is DeAndre Ayton being asked about if him and Monty Williams have moved on since their playoff loss last year and them almost leaving. And DeAndre Ayton said he hasn't talked to Williams, quote, at all, ever since the game, meaning Game 7. So they have not discussed anything with one another since they lost Game 7 to Dallas. And then someone asked if he was happy, and he said, quote, yeah, I'm all right. When I'm between those lines now, I just work. I'm not playing for myself. I have an organization across my chest and a name on my back I have to represent. I'm just here to work, man. Your thoughts?
Over the course of the summer, we were doing some forecasting of how the league might be shaping up the post free agency and post the draft. I think I was pretty early on in there advancing the view. I believe Phoenix is in a fall mode, potentially a free fall mode. I mean, I'm on their unders. Their total is already 12 games less than they won last year. It's still too high for me. I don't have them over 50 wins. I think this has all the hallmarks, the makings of an utter and complete disaster. And, I commend them for everything that they did last season. It would be hard enough for them just to get back to the level that they were at last season when they were taking care of business regular season wise after the way they lost in the playoffs. That's a mark. It leaves a mark when you lose that way. It's a confidence sapper. It takes away your swag. They had swag all season and then they went swagless. Like, just getting that back is hard enough. But with all the other stuff that's going on, Cam Johnson hasn't been extended yet.
Jay Crowder demanded a trade. Oh, and they don't have an owner.
Right.
He's selling the team.
A lot of turmoil.
I'm just here to work, man. I'm just going to say that anytime any Spotify executive reaches out to me for the next couple months, I'm just going to drop that on them. I have the same bad time. So 2 weeks, a week from next Tuesday, you, me, and Russillo are doing our over-under pod. October 11th.
Tease it.
Mark it down. Doing it in person. And I have a feeling none of us are going to be too enthused about the Phoenix Suns. Next one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was asked whether there might be a way he might want to get out of OKC since he's in rebuilding project number 3. Quote, I know what I signed up for when I signed a 5-year extension, and I don't think we're going to be losing for much longer. I believe in this team.
Okay.
I think I believe him. I think I'm like a 9 out of 10 on that one.
Yeah, it makes sense. How great of a situation is it for him? Like, pressure free, continue to build your sort of value across
get some
the
stats.
league.
Yeah, get some stats. Put up a 24, 6-6 a game.
And know that if there's at whatever juncture they decide to, go full tank, you just have he has that to look forward to 2 months before the season ends.
With that said, I think by December, there's going to be a ton of trade rumors about him. But I just wanted to get him on the record.
He's a tremendous asset. And by the way, that's a great quote from a guy who's got his head on his shoulders correctly.
Markieff Morris, who's on the Nets now, had some thoughts about the Nets Kevin Durant drama. He said, broke up with my wife a couple times. We still married. That was his take on Kevin Durant and the Nets. Basically saying, hey, man, people go through some stuff, but we're all back. We're all here. I actually thought that was a pretty good way to put it. They had some rocky moments. They might have, if they were a married couple, Durant definitely moved out. He definitely started hooking up with his personal trainer and then maybe moved back 4 months later and slept in the guest room for a month. But now I think the Nets and Durant are in the same bed, at least for a little while. Do I think they're going to stay there? No. But I think for now, they're okay.
Okay. I'm fine with all of it. I won't quibble with any aspect of any of it. Other than, well, no, I'm not going to quibble. The most believable part of all of it is that Markieff broke up with his wife a couple times. That's very believable.
Wait a second. This was actually a quote from Joe House, not Markieff Morris. I got that wrong. Broke up with my wife a couple times. We still married. My bad. It was Joe House. Sorry, Markieff.
That was before I was married.
Here's Steve Nash on KD requesting his firing. Quote, families go through things like this. You go through adversity. You go through disagreements. I guess my only quibble is calling the Nets a family, because if that's a family, that's about as a dysfunctional ass of a family as we've had.
I can't even come up with an equally dysfunctional family. Like, what's the equivalent? Not the Kardashians, because they're all unified around that ass and that money.
My dad's family? I don't know. Sorry, Dad.
Why would you do that to your dad? That's not very nice.
Just want to make sure he's listening.
Right.
I actually don't think families go through like this. I've never seen a situation in the history of the league where somebody requested the firing of his coach and GM and demanded a trade twice. It feels like more than a disagreement, but I think I was really impressed with how KD handled all the questions. And it was like, this happened, but now we're here, and just kind of kept it moving forward, whatever. Here's a fun one just to mix it up. Dwayne Casey on the Eastern Conference. This is the toughest I've seen the East in a long time, in the last 12 years. I think I'm a 10 out of 10 on that because I agree with Dwayne Casey.
I was trying to come up with
the East is good. Like
counter.
Your shit-ass Wizards team probably would have been like a 5 seed 7 years ago.
It's all too accurate, all too true. Yeah, I think the East is legit 9 deep. I mean, Charlotte's dropped out. We don't know what we're going to get out of the Knicks, but a bunch of teams have improved.
I kind of like the Knicks. Out. Is it okay if I kind of like the Knicks this year? I think they're going to be deep.
You just have to believe in something relating to Julius Randle that I'm not prepared to believe. That's all.
Yeah. Well, you might believe they're benching him. The teams that definitely seem to have a little stink on them would be Charlotte. Orlando's probably a year away, even though I think they're going to be super fun to watch. Other than that, like Detroit's got professional basketball players in their team.
Oh, yeah.
They stole Bogdanovich. Utah's like, we need another white guy.
Unbelievable.
Can he have long hair? Detroit's like, cool, we got Kelly Olynyk. Danny's like, I drafted Kelly Olynyk. Call it in. Call it into the league.
Pacers are out, right?
Oh, and Pacers. Yeah, that's the other one.